I never thought I would see a day like this. A day where everything I had suffered through would collide with the world's most unexpected gift. I was sitting on the edge of my bed, staring at the worn floorboards, listening to my son's quiet breathing from his small bed beside mine. He was 5 years old, innocent, and unaware of how hard life had been. And I had carried a weight on my shoulders for years that no one ever saw. For years, I had worked in silence. I had spoken little, because speaking up often meant losing everything. I had been overlooked, underpaid, and ignored. The world had a way of reminding me that I was nothing. Just a man doing his best for his son. The phone rang. A number I didn't recognize flashed across the screen. I answered. The words hit me in a way I wasn't ready for. I had won the lottery. I didn't scream. I didn't jump. I simply sat there, letting the news sink in. While my son stirred and blinked at me with sleepy eyes, I hugged him close and whispered, "We're going to be okay." For the first time in a long time, I allowed myself to hope. Not loudly, not recklessly, but quietly, with careful thought. Hope had been a stranger to me for so long that I had forgotten how it felt. I decided, almost instinctively, to surprise my wife. She had worked tirelessly for a small shop she believed was hers. In reality, it had always been controlled by her uncle, Victor. Victor was powerful, arrogant, and completely used to getting his way. He had made Anna believe that her dreams were dependent on his approval. He dictated everything, from suppliers to profits, always reminding her that without him, she was nothing. I bought a small bouquet of red roses. Not expensive, just real. Something that would show her that I cared. I took my son by the hand, and we walked together toward her shop, the one place she went every day to work, hoping it would make her happy, but knowing all too well how her spirit had been broken there. As we approached, I heard sounds. At first, I thought it was music. Then laughter. Then a voice, Victor's. Sharp, mocking, loud. I froze. My son looked up at me, worried. "Papa," he whispered. I squeezed his hand. "Stay here," I said softly. "Just stay with me." Through the glass doors, I saw Victor. He leaned casually against the counter, smiling. The kind of smile that made you feel small without touching you. Anna stood before him, her body tense, her hands clenched. Victor laughed, saying, "You think this store is yours? Without me, you'd be cleaning floors." She said nothing. Her eyes were cast down. "You should be grateful," he continued. "I let you work here. I let you earn something." I felt helpless. I wanted to storm in, to scream, to fight, but I held my ground outside, watching him belittle the woman I loved, feeling completely powerless. Victor stepped closer, lowered his voice. "If your husband ever gets ideas, I can shut this place down with one phone call." Anna nodded, and that nod, that silent submission, hurt more than anything else. I left before they noticed me, my son still holding my hand, his small fingers searching for reassurance. "Papa, are you okay?" he asked. I knelt down and forced a smile. "Yes, I'm okay. Just tired," I said. That night, I didn't sleep. Sadness weighed on my chest like a stone. I had money now, freedom, but freedom meant nothing if fear still ruled our lives. The next morning, I woke early. I made coffee. I watched the sunrise. I felt a quiet hope building. For years, I had learned patience the hard way. When you have nothing, you learn to wait. I called a lawyer, then an accountant, then another lawyer. I began to understand. Victor didn't own the store. He owned the fear. The contracts were illegal, the profits unfair. And Anna had rights, more than she realized. Justice doesn't like noise, it likes preparation. I stayed quiet for weeks. Victor noticed. "You seem different," he said one day, suspicious. I shrugged. "Life," I replied. He laughed. "You still poor, huh?" I smiled. "Still patient," I thought. I paid off our debts quietly. I set aside money for my son, for Anna, for the future. Then I made my move. I bought the building next to the mall, invested in the same suppliers Victor controlled, and left Anna's shop untouched. Victor stormed into our apartment one evening. "You think you're clever?" he demanded. "Suppliers aren't answering my calls, rents are rising. What are you doing?" Anna froze. I stood calmly. "Nothing," I said, "just living." He stepped closer, his arrogance unshaken. "You forget who you are," he hissed. I looked him in the eyes. "No," I said. I finally remembered. A week later, everything changed. Victor arrived at the shop, confident as ever. But there was something different. Papers were laid out on the counter. Lawyers were waiting. Police stood outside. "What is this?" he demanded. Anna took a deep breath, and for the first time, she didn't look down. "This is mine," she said. "And you're done." Victor laughed, then stopped. The laughter died when the documents were revealed. Fraud, exploitation, tax evasion. He looked at me, really looked. "You," he whispered. I nodded. I had never been weak. I had just been quiet. That day, he lost everything. Power, influence, control. My son held my hand tightly. "Papa, did we win?" he asked softly. I knelt down and smiled through tears. "Yes, buddy, we did, but the real victory wasn't the lottery. It wasn't the money. It was seeing fear leave Anna's eyes. It was standing tall without shouting. Without violence. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it waits. And when it comes, it is quiet, clean, final. From that day on, we were free, and I finally understood what it meant to fight silently. To carry hope in your chest. And to wait for justice. Patiently, until it arrives." We walked out together, my son holding my hand, Anna by my side, and for the first time in years, I felt like the world belonged to us. Because sometimes the quietest people, the ones who carry the heaviest burdens, are the ones who hold the power to change everything. And when that power is used with patience, with love, and with justice, it can move mountains, break chains, and turn a lifetime of fear into a lifetime of freedom. We had endured sadness, helplessness, despair, but we emerged with hope, patience, and the sweetest justice imaginable. And in that moment, standing in the sunlight of our own lives, we knew that nothing would ever touch us again. We had won, not with force, not with anger, but with courage, silence, and unwavering strength, because true victory, the kind that echoes through generations, comes quietly, patiently, and perfectly. And that is the story of how a man, his son, and a woman who had been crushed by fear, took back their lives, without a single shout, without a single blow, and found justice where it had seemed impossible. It was more than a win. It was a miracle, not of luck, but of perseverance, hope, and patience, and that miracle changed everything.